Back to another G2 podcast. My name is Mark. Cameraman Tyler.
What's up?
We'll be talking about some important information today. First topic. Why does Britney have giant gold scissors and why are they so heavy?
Let me see him. What the? Are these real gold? What the heck?
This will break your face. Okay?
Oh, we're gonna shut the door a little bit, that way we're not too loud.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Not close it though. Just like fingertips.
Question number dos.
Question number does. Let's hear.
Let's talk about how lit Britney Canfield is.
Oh. By the way, when you look at that, tell me you don't see ut. Look how Britney is.
Okay, next topic. Subscribe.
Yeah. What are we at right now? What are we at?
8
subscribers. Oh yeah.
Zach Shaw needs to eat a shoe.
Yeah. By the way, remember he's size 16.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go to episode 3, 2. It was during
3.
lock-in.
It was 3. It was the lock-in one.
And yeah, yell at him, make him eat a shoe.
I have a topic right here.
How
Ready?
many?
Ready?
I
Catch it.
can't elope.
Right there. Why is there cantaloupe?
This isn't Britney's.
I know, it's not Britney's.
Catch it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so like, why are Britney and Daniel? Where do you guys think they're at?
Yeah, where are they? Topic number 2.
Okay, ready? Watch. I'm gonna end mine, and you're gonna hit yours. Ready?
Okay, ready?
3, 2, 1, go. Okay.
Let's do the same right now. Let's do it. Welcome back. We already did that in the other clip.
Yeah, but we're not using it, so woo.
Okay.
Topic number 1: the golden scissors.
Hello, my name is Mark Harimoto.
Choose joy.
Thank you, Hannah. Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna give Hannah a plug really quick.
Yeah. Okay.
You see those amazing shirts? Choose joy.
This is not the only one either. There's a blue one. That's not it right there.
There's a blue one that says
Be still. It has a little hammock on it. You know, it's real nice. I just
"Help
chose
Hannah
that
out."
one. Yeah, she's going on
She
a.
is going on a trip on her favorite rocket ship,
Yeah. Ooh. Look at the changing the
Zooming.
lighting.
zooming through the stars.
Yeah. So remember, if you like more of these podcasts, you guys got to subscribe. We're at 8. We're gonna get Zach Shaw to eat his shoe. Okay. Size 16, big man.
16?
That's a huge. Yeah, it's 16. He is a huge shoe.
Okay. Okay. Topic.
Yes.
Topic.
Oh, I got one, Mark. I got one,
Let's
right?
hear it. Let's hear it.
So, we're just gonna start off nice and simple, okay? So, what do you want to do with your future? Any idea? It's not even like it doesn't have
going
to be
deep.
specific school.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be anything.
I'm gonna
like...
put mine towards goal related.
Okay, let's see.
Possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be right back. This next 3 seconds is us going to another frame of us talking about our Bible story. We'll be talking about the one I really wanted to dive into is when Jesus goes back to his disciples after he resurrected, while they're all hiding in the room, and how people react to him coming back.
Yeah.
But yeah, one second.
We'll be back.
3, 2, 1. Boo!
Sup?
Told you we'll be back.
2
Not
weeks
like it's been
later.
2 weeks. I think we're wearing different stuff. We got Colin here now.
Yeah.
About 3 seconds ago he wasn't here, but now he is. Okay. So continuing, we're talking about the moment when Jesus was resurrected, and he came back to his disciples, and we just wanted to focus on that part. I'm going to read a little scripture here. Mark 16.
When Mark's finding, I'm going to tell a little funny story or a funny joke real quick, okay? Make you a little chuckle before we get serious and dive in deep, okay? Did you hear about the circus fire, Colin?
No.
It was intense. You want to hear another one?
Yeah.
Okay. So I went to the doctor the other day,
Yeah.
and they told me I was colorblind.
Okay.
Came right out of the purple.
Blue.
Came right out of the.
Blue. Come on now. Okay. I found
Oh,
it.
I
Okay.
finally get it now.
Okay, we're
Wait,
good.
what if like I was just kind of thinking because like what if people, you see blue and that's your perspective of blue, but someone can see blue and it's actually your version of green. So like people see colors differently, so their green is your blue, but they see it differently. Imagine that. That would be
That's
weird.
what colorblind is.
No, but think about it. Everyone's perspective is different, and people who are colorblind actually see the right colors.
Okay, let's read.
Okay, let's go. Let's get into this.
Okay. I don't want to read this word for word. I don't like reading these things for word for word.
You
can
just
have it back.
pulled.
So it's 13 verse. So Mark 16, 13 through the end of Mark
Through
6.
20.
Yeah. So basically, it talks. So this is after Jesus showed himself to the I forgot her name. The woman, the first person to see Jesus alive, and then what happens is she goes back to the 11 disciples, or the 11, and they say, or she says, he is risen, and so she tries convincing them, and then
It's Mary Magdalene, by the way.
Mary, yep, and then
Not his mother.
the 11 are like they don't believe her, and so it's just like when he was crucified and how the 3 rooster crows and whatnot. But anyway, what ended up happening is Jesus finally went to the disciples, and he was basically like, he rebuked them and was like, "How dare you?" Or not, he didn't say how dare you. He said, "You have your faith was gone, and the way that you guys denied me was bad." But then he went straight to not punishing in a way, like in the chapel and how Jesus like flipped the tables and got all mad and whatnot. But he went to a way of saying, "Now go out and teach my word, or show my greatness," instead of saying lightning. But he instead, and through the disciples' failure, he wanted them to show his power. So yeah, if you guys have anything to say about just that story and how it relates and whatnot.
I think what you were trying to think of, like, where he was mad, it was like, or about like them not having faith. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he say like your faith is only based on seeing or something like that? Didn't he say something
He
along
said
those?
that
We
to
don't live
doubting
by-
Thomas, right?
Wait, we live by
It was
faith
Thomas,
and not
right?
by sight.
Thomas, because
Yeah.
Thomas is the one who's like, "Touch my head."
Yeah. He's like, I won't believe till I touch the holes in his hands, and like.
And that's what happens afterwards when they find Thomas.
And like, here's the interesting thing: is God doesn't really punish. He doesn't punish at all, and that's the perspective we need to be in, because most often than not, someone comes out and like, let's say, slapped you
Ow.
right then and there. Like some people want to come back and they want to slap you back, but in this case, not that you're setting a bad example.
Oh, my bad.
So, basically, we need to be in the mindset of we need to turn the other cheek. We can't sit there and we can't do the same thing that the world is doing to us. We have to be different. We have to be lights in this world.
Does Brent know you guys are in here? Yes.
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure. Everyone say hi. Bye, Daniel.
You guys are here today at
High
GT.
schoolers.
You know what this high school is.
We should do payback for Daniel.
Pick up.
Yeah.
Let's do payback for Daniel for interrupting, rudely interrupt. No, I'm joking.
We're just
So
fart machine.
what I think is like, a lot of people confuse, like, they think like God isn't punished, but truthfully, like, a lot of the Bible is about like suffering.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest, like everyone, like there's a lot of times, like especially like when I was younger, I thought like, oh, you know, like there's no suffering as long as you like trust God and you like work with him. But yes, there is going to be suffering, but the whole point of having God on your side is that you're able to make it through that suffering. Just like if you were here tonight at G2, Josh was talking about during ministry time, how you are able to like get to the other side of the storm with Jesus.
Yeah.
And yes, you are going to have that suffering, but the whole point of having your faith is that you are able to rely solely on God and the strength that he gives to you.
And sometimes like those tough situations are the very thing that defines ourselves. Like, you know, people are very, like most often people are ashamed of their mistakes and they're ashamed of the things that have happened that are negative in life. But the negative things, the thing you're most ashamed of, and the thing that you might see as like the most disgusting thing about yourself might be the very thing that God will use to make the biggest difference in this life. And that is the thing that you need to be focusing on, is even though you might be in this tough storm, even though it's very rough for you, you have to keep yourself in the mindset where the Bible's filled up with so many stories of people going through rough situations. Like, for example, there's the boat where Jesus is sleeping inside of the boat, and there's the huge storm coming by. People are going through all these storms in their lives, and that is the very thing that defines us, and it allows us to teach other people how to get through those situations that we have been through.
Mm-hmm. And like we're saying, there's 12 disciples, so I said 11 earlier because Thomas wasn't there, and Thomas was doubtful when he heard about these news, and that's why some people call him Doubting Thomas and whatnot. And the way that Jesus presented him was in a way of, he didn't say, like the other 11 disciples, he didn't say, you guys have been unfaithful and whatnot. And they both knew that he was, but all he needed was proof. And so he said, touch the holes in my hand, touch the spear in my side. And Thomas, I don't know exactly what he did, but he then went out to preach his word like Jesus wanted him to. But the whole point of Jesus doing that wasn't to show that, yeah, I'm alive, cool. It was to prove that it was him and how his power is mighty. But in his power is mighty, he just wanted to show that while they were doubting him while he was dead, to when they believe him in his life when he was alive, and the transition of the death to life. Like, for example, all of us have times in our life where we feel dead, spiritually and spiritually, emotionally, physically, and we don't recognize our transition to being alive in a way that we should. Like even the small stuff, like feeling renewed and like coming to G2, if you guys come to G2 every week, and just that renewal is a victory. Because even the smallest changes, like language, bad language, and you stop using bad language, yes, it's like a normal flow, and it should be into being a good language, but that's when we need to stop and think and tell God thank you. Because it's just like he was dead, now he's alive. We were in that pain, the failure, the depression, the anxiety, and our transition. And some of us are still making the transition, but our transition to being alive in Christ needs to be celebrated, and needs to give us a renewal of how Jesus is powerful and he's alive and he's coming back. But yeah, that's just, I guess, just to sum it up, it's just we need to recognize our battles, and once we know we're in a battle, we gotta recognize when we're out of it, because we have won through his name.
And we've already won.
Yeah, exactly.
When he died on the cross, we won.
Just to kind of bring up the whole thing about swearing and stuff like that, especially in school, it's a lot tougher in school because everybody wants to belong in a group and everyone wants to have popularity and all these things. And the Bible says we're not of this world. We're not going to fit in perfectly. We're not going to be this amazing person. And if you're that person, by all means, like, it's nice, but like, it's not going to fulfill you as much as it is to be in a relationship with God. And in my own opinion, the most important thing to have in school is the relationships that you have within the youth group, because those people are going to be the ones that are building you up, and they're not even going to worry about the certain things that you have to do, because in certain friend groups, they swear and they do all these bad things, and some people tend to want to do them just so they can belong. But when you are in your friend group within the church, they're not going to care about those things. They're not going to care about the swearing. They're not going to care about what you have to do in order to belong in the group, because they're going to like you and they're going to love you just the way you are and the way that God's designed you to be. And I think that's the best way for those of you who struggle with friendships is, most importantly, focus on someone who doesn't care if you're different. They care about you, yourself, because people who love you for your own self and not for who you were at school, those are the friendships that are going to be mattering in the future.
Go ahead, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say that going off of just like a point you can remember is whenever you try to belong to this world, just remember that you belong to Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus is the one who created you, and Jesus is love. So if you belong to Jesus, you will love on people, and that's what He's called us to do.
I think a point that was kind of like brushed over when you were talking earlier, Mark, was the fact that everything's a victory, and like you need to celebrate every victory, because I think a lot of times that we only see or we only believe that we are victorious when we have overcome these massive things. When there's like these big struggles in our lives, you know, we finally get past it. And yes, those are victories that should be celebrated, but those are not the only victories. God does not only work when you are in the roughest part of your life. He is present at all times, and He is working at all times. Every single day, even really good days, He is working.
Yeah.
Even really bad days, He is working. He is always pushing. As long as you are willing and like trying to see the work that He's doing, you'll notice small things. And small things matter. Small things can all build up. Just like a domino. Like one small domino can lead to like an entire path of them just knocked over. And that works both good and bad. One bad event can lead to other worse events. But the same can be the other way. One small good event, like you just say, oh hey Colin, like it's good to see you today. You know, maybe that one small event, and you know, in Colin's life, because you said that, it just makes his day better.
Yeah.
And because you're able to have that one small event, and you're able to show the love that God has already for you and the other people around you, with that one small event, you can change someone's life, whatever the correct grammar is.
I like what you're saying. A point in that what Daniel said today was your friends and family are a blessing. They're not they're not something to get in your way. Like the commandment says in Genesis 12:20, I forget. It was like something cool, like 2012 or something. But it's honor.
Yeah, it was Exodus 21 or something like that.
It was honor your mother and father, but we don't realize, or we take for granted a lot that of the people in our lives right now. But the Bible says to love people. And so if we don't remember to love our friends, even our closest friends and our family. Now, loving your closest friends isn't like, oh yeah, I see them every day, high fives, I talk to them every day. It's like actually appreciating who they are and letting them know is important, because everyone, you gotta fill each other's buckets. Last point is Colin.
What?
You got the last point here.
So, speaking of soaking in every little thing, it's like that. I don't know if you guys were there for my 4-on-5 that one year when I did about being thankful about the nothings in life. It's such an amazing thing just to kind of think of, because people around the church, sometimes people don't know their callings, and sometimes people don't really see things from God, and so they're kind of in a stage of nothing. And you know, sometimes there are things that God does that are little, but it's what you can do with those little things that make the biggest difference. And so I have this written in my notes. It's take every little thing and say this is significant, because the devil does not like it when you think something is significant, because the way he gets you to stop your purpose is to make you think that it doesn't matter. And that's the very thing we need to be focusing on, is even if it's a small little thing that God has given you. For example, I think it was Elisha. Elisha and the big drought in the area, a little cloud formed. And instead of him saying, oh, it's just a little cloud, it's nothing big, he said, this is significant, and I know God's going to use this little thing, and he's going to make it bigger. And that's the perspective you need to be in, where, like, let's say God gave you a friendship. Like, he gave you a simple friendship, and you're kind of like, not a fan of that person. Or, like, you just kind of, like, teeter-tottering around that person. maybe God put that person in your life to do something big?
Mhm.
What if God put that person specifically in your life so you can either build them up or they can build you up? And that's I don't know, it's just amazing just to kind of think about that, where like people most often are always focusing on the things that are big rather than the things that are small, and sometimes the things that are small make the biggest difference.
Yeah, we gotta live on the positive what if.
Yeah.
Cool. I just noticed something. This has been distracting me, but that door, that looks like Batman.
Oh my goodness.
It does.
Hold on.
You guys gotta see this.
This is Brittany's office. Look at that shadow.
That's like.
Does that look like the Batman symbol or what?
Batman.
Okay, well we're done here. Thank you for. Oh, that's weird.
That's a bad angle.
That was horrible.
What in the world is happening?
Whoa.
Sorry, I'm a rookie at this
Alright.
whole thing. Okay, thank you for listening in, and really, I know it's just three dudes talking, but some of the stuff said is really what impacted our lives. So that's what we're calling this section of videos is the Bible Story Teen Talk, the BSTT.
Yeah, and little quick thank you to Brittany for letting us
Yeah.
use her office after G2
Yes.
because it's so much quieter in this room than like any other room in the church. So
Oh, yeah.
thank you, Brittany.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you,
Thank you.
Daniel.
Thank you so much.
We love all you guys.
G2 every Wednesday, 7 o'clock. What else we got coming up? Upper class is when Friday. When
It's
is it?
Friday.
It's
Is
the
this-
Is this
30.
Friday?
It's the
It's this Friday. It's this
31st.
Friday.
First. Yeah, it's the
31st.
31st of May.
We got high school and middle school camps coming up. If you need information, please contact Brittany, Daniel, or any of the leaders.
They're really fun. We got Wild West coming up in
Wild
the summer.
West.
Oh, yes.
Talk to
Family
Tony
camp.
Looney.
Yep. Other than that,
I think that's pretty much it.
yeah.
Gender Defenders coming up soon.
Gender defender.
That's
exciting.
like July, but you'll
Yeah.
hear more on that.
Yes.
So-
Okay.
We love you guys.
Love you.
Now where they're struggling with being a light, where it's hard, where it's difficult, where they're afraid of being made fun of for being different. I pray boldness over that situation. God, I pray that they would have strength, crazy strength that they would have never experienced before. God, I pray where our brokenness is at, that Lord, you would come and you'd heal us, that you would just reveal yourself to us in a new and fresh way.